Hey, welcome to another EP episode of this MuddaCluckin podcast. I'm your host, D to the E, the A to the N, Dean Austin. On this podcast, where all things funny, all things life. On today's episode, I have an amazing, talented, funny, superb actress. She has range, she's smart, she gets it in. So I want you to sit back, relax, put your feet up, get you some popcorn, get you some jujubes. For all you young folk, if you know what jujubes, the candy from back in the day, back in the 1970, 80, not back in the day, but the candy's good. So make sure you grab something, sit back and relax. I'm gonna bring her out, but I want to tell you a little bit about them. Her credits are on fire. She is getting it in. You've seen her on many commercials, lots of movies, various television shows such as Good Trouble, SWAT, NCIS Los Angeles, and Lucifer. She is on point. So I want you to welcome out my friend here, NICOLA Lambo. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Look at
I'm great.
NICOLA Lambo in the house.
What's up?
What's happening? Good. Thank you for coming and blessing the mic and the screen and coming on it to my podcast. I really appreciate having you here.
I appreciate being here. It's an honor. I love hanging with you, chilling with you, watching you before because you're amazing. I'm just honored to be on the show, man. Thank you.
Look, I've been excited for the past few days knowing you coming. I've been telling people, you met my family, my brother and his wife. They know you're going to be coming on, and I'm just happy to be here. I did my research, but I know you because you're my sister. But I got to be professional. I got to do it right. So we're gonna jump right in. A couple questions. Okay, so as a kid, as a child, did you ever look in the mirror and practice on characters and being and acting and or was it just something that naturally came to you later in life?
To be honest, when I was young, like I'm talking like 5 years old, what I did first was sing. My mom realized I could sing from that young, and she just started putting me in stuff like I was Mary in the pageant and just all kinds of stuff. And really, that's what I leaned on for the first half of my career. I actually ended up getting a scholarship as a singer, going to University of Miami, and then I got hired right out of college, like straight into like a equity contract. And I was like, oh, like those blessings that you don't know are such a huge blessing until after the fact, and you look back and you're like, dang, look at life. It just kind of like, the gates, the doors open. Not that it was easy, because to be honest with you, I knew a scholarship was the only way I was going to go to college. We didn't come from a lot of money. My mom, pretty much a single mom of 2 girls, right? And I knew I didn't want to lean on her to help pay for my education. So I figured, okay, I can sing. I can use that to get a scholarship, get through college, and then figure out what I'm going to do after the fact. And that was such a huge blessing. But when I got into music school, I knew no music theory. Like I came in like
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Like if it wasn't for this one professor, and at first I thought, gosh, this guy's such a jerk. He used to put me at the front of the class and ask me all of the questions. And that he was like, well, if Nicola can understand it, I know everybody in the class can. And so he put me in the fire from the very, very start. Thank God for him, because it made me like, fight or flight, right? So I was like,
right.
Figure this out, you're not gonna
I can do this. I got this.
Kind of put the fire under my butt and made me learn all of this, music theory, all this information about music. And so I wasn't just a singer with raw talent. I became a musician. That's what got me hired straight out of high school, because I could read music, I could sing.
Oh, wow.
All kinds of stuff, and that's what they were looking for. So yeah, that's kind of my path coming up.
So it was in your blood. Acting is your drug. I can tell. We all have our drug of choice, which is a healthy drug to have.
Yeah.
And
well, it was interesting because I I started out singing, and then at a certain point in time, like I did the things. I traveled on tour doing the NSYNC Pop Odyssey as one of their opening acts for the show there, and like I did Disney World under contract. I played Nala. I did all these amazing things in music, and then of course I naturally gravitated to singing and songwriting, and I was writing stuff and doing stuff and getting publishing deals and stuff like that. And at a certain point in time, back in the day, I'm not going to date myself, but I kept bumping into a wall where the music business was like, we see you like this. Sex sells. A female in this industry should do this, this, and this. And I was like, right. That's not me. I'm not your girl for that stuff. And I had been touring with an artist, and I totally saw it evolve where, he was a young man, married, family on the way. And in the limelight, though, he was like this single R&B, living it up. Right. And I saw where he was just like this split personality happening, and so unhappy, so unfulfilled. And I was like, well, I definitely don't want that. And so I was like, what do I love about this business? And I realized it was the lyrics. It was the words for the music, because I think that's where the power is.
Right.
That's where you can have the impact. And I just naturally at that point just started gravitating to more scripts and acting and on camera expressing the words rather than the music component. And that's what brought me out to LA.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where's home originally for you?
Ooh, where you from? I was born in Jamaica. So I'm from Jamaica, Kingston.
Man, yes.
Yes, man.
Yes, man. Bumba.
Exactly. But I only lived there till I was 7, and my mom brought my sister and I up to the States. We had family already here. The irony of that, the funny thing about the Jamaican culture and background and being from there is that just now, literally, I want to say it's been 2 years now, I decided one day, so this girl reached out to me on Instagram. She's phenomenal. Simone Edwards, NBA star, like basketball player, well known in Jamaica, huge success. And she created this charity. And she reached out to me. It's for the orphans in Jamaica. There's a lot of kids that just get,
that's amazing.
Call them like, it's not horrible, but dumpster kids. They throw the babies, and it's terrible. But she created this charity, started this foundation. She's helping these kids, and she reached out. She said, "You're a fellow Jamaican. I researched you. Could you do a video for the kids?" And we started to talk back and forth. And she wrote this book called Unstoppable. Very good book, phenomenal. You should go read it if you haven't.
And can you repeat the name of that book once again? I'm sorry.
Unstoppable.
Everyone that's unstoppable.
Coming up, Unstoppable. Yeah. And I started reading it, and I thought, you know what? I should do an audiobook sample with my Jamaican accent, because I know I can. So I asked her to put her own book onto my phone, and I just listened to her. And then I recorded a sample of it, and I have been booking these books with my Jamaican accent now. For first time in my whole career, because they don't buy me as Jamaican when they see me.
No, not at all.
I've never used it much, but now audiobooks are like, phew, like it's such in high demand, and for whatever reason, that Jamaican accent is becoming very, very useful right now.
Yeah, and it's the time, because we're on the tail end of the pandemic, still in it, and people are home, and people love podcasts, audiobooks. They love anything, and it's Netflix, anything at home that they can just listen to on their phone or tune into is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
Enjoy expressing my culture in that way. Thank God for her, just stepping into my life. She's like you're my brother. She's my sister. We talk almost every day, because she's doing big things for those kids in Jamaica.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What part of Jamaica?
Kingston.
Nice. That is amazing. Now, who's your inspiration when you started? Not the music side of it, but the acting side. Who's your inspiration as far as the
inspiration? Just for the work, Meryl Streep for me. But for the empire, Oprah Winfrey.
Nice.
And then I also have my eye on Kerry Washington, because people say I have that essence about me.
Yes.
I've got Tandy Newton, which I love. Her
people thought you were Tandy Newton.
Her work in this world is like breathtaking. all the components, from the physical capabilities to she can switch into all the different accents and literally other languages. Just stellar. So those are kind of the women that I have my eye on. I watch how they work and how they move through the business. It's more for like how you carry yourself in the business, because I'm not going to be able to imitate their work. It's phenomenal in its own right. But each person has their own thing, right? I'm not trying to mimic anything. But what I am trying to mirror is how they show up in this business. Because I have like, yes, I'm the artist, but the other side of my brain is very keen on the business side of acting. It's the acting, the business of acting, right? So I look to them for those kinds of things, and how they show up and how they lead and what they do and what they say and what they stand for is aligned. All those things are really important to me.
Yeah, you're definitely a student of your craft, and you motivate a lot of people. It's funny because me being a comedian and seeing all these, not just actors, but just comedians, and how the grind is in the comedy world, to watch you grind on the acting side is phenomenal. And it definitely inspires many. I'm just gonna let you know that in many ways. So that's why I'm happy to have you here, because you get some of the young actors and actresses out there can actually see you and listen to what you have to say and read these books and follow you, because on Instagram you putting it in as far as, you know, inspirational. Everything is, this is beautiful. The ocean. You're not just the ocean. You're not a drop. You are the ocean. And it's like, man, I'm like, look, I can't even swim, and I'll jump in the ocean just because you said that.
You know, I will impart this to your audience. One thing I have learned in this business, it doesn't really matter what you're working toward. If you've got the hustle on, you're doing the grind, you have a dream, you have a desire, and you're going after it. The one thing I know that you must do is take care of yourself inside out.
Right.
You have to do the inner work. You got to find your own happy. No one's going to make you happy. No one's going to make you a success. The success factor starts inside of you, and it's the self-development and the disciplines and all the personal things you're doing. Goodness gracious, find something find some source, have some faith, something you stand for, things you believe in, act out of that. I think it's going to get you further, faster, and also more fulfilled when you get there. Because people grind for things. And oftentimes what I'm realizing is they don't even know why they're grinding. They don't even know if it's what they're destined to do, or if it's
right.
They're just doing a thing. Like, I'm good at this, so I'm going to do this thing. And that's all well and good and great. But if it's not intentional and not purposeful, you're going to get there and be like, all right, that was fun.
And that's why I always say, whatever you do, make sure it's led by passion.
Yeah.
Passion is so important to have that in you, whatever you want to do, you know, because when you have passion, you'll put forth the effort and you'll enjoy the journey. Yeah. And it's so important. Some people don't realize that sometimes, that passion is so important, because some people, they go to college and they'll realize that they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer. But when they get their third, maybe year, fourth year, and they realize maybe that's not what I want to do. And that's fine. But at least you making that transition, you realize that you're not going to just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you decide to figure out what it is that you really love to do.
Yeah. On my bio on TikTok, I have be where your feet are. And I think that's a lesson. If we could just catch that at the beginning of whatever you're doing, you got to be here right now. I get to be with you. I'm going to be with you.
Right.
I can't be thinking about what happened yesterday or where I'm headed tomorrow. It's got to be right here, right now. Otherwise, you're going to miss what's for you. Because in this moment right now, if I'm present with you, opportunities will show itself. But if I'm so worried about yesterday, that's already said and done. What am I going to do about yesterday?
Right.
Today. And if I'm worried about tomorrow or what I got to go do next.
In the moment, right.
You got to stay right here, right now, present. All the nuggets are here. Right. We're so busy hustling and flowing forward that sometimes we miss, like, I get to be with Dean today. Yes. Let's do this.
And just pass out. Thank you. Right. Namaste. Oh, let me make a correction. I can swim. I just can't float. So I'm good when I'm going. I'm good when I'm going, Nicola. I'm like, bam. But then when I stop, bloop, 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 bloop.
Child, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I am from Jamaica, yes. Can I swim? Not really. It's pretty sad to say being from an island, but I'd say
Yes.
I'm not gonna drown because I can float. I know that much.
Oh,
I
you're
know
gonna float. That's
I'm not gonna
beautiful.
drown.
I need to learn what you know how to do.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to float. I can't float.
I'm not gonna
Well,
drown.
let me say it like this: I can float if I'm laying forward, but then you look like you dead. People think he didn't make it, right? But I can't float backwards because when the water get right here, I get nervous.
Oh, yeah.
The water right here, I'm like, but when it get right there, I get really nervous. I'm like, ah.
But you know what? My husband laughs at me all the time because I was like, now I will be auditioning for those things that say, can you swim? I say yes. And he's like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, well, if it came down to it and I had an audition, I have a pool right here. I will go figure it out.
Right. Throw me in. Push me in. Baby, just push.
If it's required, I'll make that happen. I can figure that out. Okay.
Look, can he swim?
Yeah.
He'll save you. He'll save you. You're safe. And look, you book it, they're not gonna let you drown. They're gonna take care of you. They might even put floaties. You can't see the floaties under you.
I mean, the reason I'm not an avid swimmer is because I don't do it, right? So if I went out there and practiced a couple of weeks or whatever, I'd be fine. I'm pretty sure I'd be fine.
That's true. You'd be fine. You'd be fine.
Don't tell.
I'm look, that's between us. My sister can swim.
That's right.
Now, living in LA is interesting because everything opens late or opens late.
Yeah.
Do you ever get the urge to do a late night run to like Randy's Donuts just because? But I know we all do something like that in LA. Have you ever just decided to just get up and go, I'm gonna go to Randy's and drive from wherever to Randy's?
Well, I have cravings off and on. Yes. As a matter of fact, my husband and I will make sure we have like a cheat day because we're pretty healthy. We're pretty aware of what we're putting in our body, how we're treating our physicality, working out, all those things. I mean, we're doing stuff 6 days a week to make sure the temple is good, right? But we do have a cheat day, and most often what I'm craving, it's not even like donuts or anything like that. It's yogurt, which is wild. But
wow, that's a good craving. Look, that how many people would love to have that craving? Yogurt?
Okay. To be fair, it's yogurt from Yogurtland, which is like, okay.
Oh, okay. It's that shishi fufu yogurt. It's that yogurt that's on the next level. It's not the one in the store.
No.
Jabani or whatever they call it.
I like to create like levels with my yogurt. It's
you put the stuff in it.
The base flavor.
Okay, all right.
Flavor of yogurt, and then another layer of like chocolate sprinkles. I mean, I do it up. If I'm doing it, if I'm leaving my house at 9 o'clock at night to get dessert,
it's no wasted calories.
I'm doing it.
You ain't wasted no calories on no junk. Which you shouldn't,
Might as well enjoy it. If I'm gonna do it.
Do it big. Likewise. I work out every day. I ride. I get it in, and I have my cheat times. But my cheat times, when I get them, I'm not the type of person that can eat something sweet and just stop. Like they say, just have like half the chocolate bar today, and you have the other tomorrow. That chocolate bar is gone.
Same.
So I have to just do it and then stop.
Yeah. Well, we don't keep it here. If I have the craving, we literally have to get in the car and go get the house.
Yes. Likewise.
When they come here, they're like, you don't have like a cookie or like a piece of cake?
You say nothing.
No. And I said, don't bring your food here. Please don't bring your food here.
We don't have snacks in this house.
My poor husband, I'm like, sorry, honey, we're not buying that. If we really want it, we got to get back in the car and get it. It's on demand.
Right. You got on-demand snacks.
On demand, you gotta get out and get it. I'll be in trouble. I would be like,
yeah, I know. We all would be, and your husband is like Baby Hawk, so I know he takes care of himself. I call him Baby Hawk.
He takes care of himself.
You can tell him I said that. He Baby Hawk to me.
I will.
Okay, so I have something called RQT time during my podcast. It's called Random Question Time.
Okay.
Random question time.
All right.
Roller skates or badminton, and why?
I'm gonna say roller skates because I've never played badminton, and I'm on a roller skate, the quad skates, right? A time or two.
You do? Oh yeah, not inline, the real roller skates.
Real roller skates.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's fun. It's fun.
All right. Yeah, it's fun. You ever go to Venice Beach or in that area with the beaches and ride?
No, I've seen them do it out there, but I'm not that bold with my skills, so I'm lacking. So
I've done it. Yeah, I've never. No, I've done inline one time at the beach years ago. I was dating this girl. She wanted to go. I really didn't want to, but we got out there and I did it. It was okay. But roller skating, I've roller skate at rink.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's fun, because you got music and you're going in the circle, so you don't really have far to go and come back.
Always like on the sideline.
Right, you can hold the side. Somebody, you fall to the side, somebody catch you. It's nice. Now, if you weren't an actress, what would you be?
That is a great question, and I have an answer for that because I found in my acting, it's really interesting how that informs life sometimes, but I'm very interested in psychology of the mind, human behavior, and just thoughts and how that dictates your actions and all the psychology of the mind. I'm pretty sure I'd be a psychiatrist, psychiatrist, whichever one.
Psychologist. Yeah.
Yeah. I love entertaining the conversations. I really, truly, I love people. That's part of the acting that I love, exploring different people's personalities, their stories, why they do what they do. And I'm just intrigued by how people make their decisions and what is that has them take action on these certain things and what fuels that belief system, where does it come from and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure I would do something with the psychology.
Right. That's why I like watching the ID channel. Because I wonder what are these people, how do you get to the point to where you do something that crazy? I mean, really, it takes a lot to take it to that next level. So I'm always wondering what people do and what they think. But maybe some people say it's because, I'm a comedian, but I've always been that way even as a child. So like you, I always like to, I wouldn't say I'd be a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I would definitely work in the medical field. I'd have something to do with medical, with helping people, because I enjoy people as well.
Well, the science of the mind is everything. Your thoughts dictate what you do. Literally, your thoughts dictate what you do. And the more you can learn to manage those thoughts, you're going to get where you want to go or where you're meant to go or whatever the case may be. So it's like navigating this thing that sometimes we just kind of let it spiral and spin and do its own thing. When in reality, you got to teach it. You got to teach your mind who's in charge. But you got to actually know what you want it to do.
Right.
You have an idea of like, well, what do I want my mind to do?
Right. I don't want to do nothing crazy. I can do something good. You have to really think about it. Yes.
Exactly.
It's amazing. So we met at the gym. We met at the gym. Yeah. And you always been getting it in physically, staying in shape.
Yeah.
And you were actually reading your sides. For the people out there who don't know what sides are, as part of the script, you read, you don't get the whole script, but you're reading your sides. Yeah. And you were so focused, but you were still working out, right? I'm like, if she just look at it wrong and say get it in your head, say the wrong thing to yourself, you might fall over. That's what I kept thinking. I'm like, if she's not feeling it, she's gonna tip. You can just get it in. And reading, I was like, oh snap. I was like, okay, it's dedication. That's dedication, right? Now,
there is a science to it, actually. When you add physicality to memory, it sticks better. There's a literal whole entire talk on adding physicality that really embeds the words into your memory. If you do it simultaneously, it's funny because the guy that used to clean the gym, he would always go, he's from Jamaica. So like, oh, there she is in our office.
Really? Which guy was that? It was a guy from Jamaica?
Ken.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, he
would always come by, oh, she's in her office. Or he would tell people, don't get on that machine because she's about to come and get in her office.
Look, you're brave. I couldn't do it. It's hard for me to keep the sides there and the script there and try to focus on riding or walking or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but I'm better at doing it where I have it in my head, because as a comedian you memorize your show, your bits, your act. So I'm able to actually compartmentalize it in certain parts of my brain, and
Yeah.
then when I'm riding my bike or wherever, I'm thinking, and sometimes I get a little lost and I end up going down a little further or make a wrong turn, but
Okay.
that's how right, because it's going through it in my head,
Yeah.
and then I go back like you, and then I'll do it, at home or wherever, at the park or wherever. But to be on them, I couldn't do the machine. That's
Well,
pretty.
it's kind of like, in the acting world, they say, put it up on its feet, put the work up on its feet. And so
Right.
that's just the literal translation of what that means. Because if I'm sitting here and I'm studying script and I'm learning stuff, but then I have to stand if I'm doing the audition or stand in the audition room,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It completely disorients you if you've never done it standing. It sounds
Exactly.
neat, it really
Exactly.
does, but there is something about adding a different environment or physicality to the
Yes,
words
I agree.
that
I
can
agree.
really show you. So I really do it in any which way I can, as mobile or as in all the different environments, so that it all feels familiar, and figure out, okay, which environment is best. And now it's the self-tape world. Most everything you're doing
Right.
is on a self-tape, so you kind of have the luxury of, do I want to sit, do I want to stand, do I want to put myself in a faux environment, kind of thing, So
And sometimes you leave the bloopers in, which are funny too, which people on your Instagram. I love the bloopers.
honey,
Or
I got
cut. All right, let's do it again. Okay.
yeah, I got plenty of those.
Now, do you have any funny or crazy stories that has nothing to do with the industry?
Funny or crazy stories?
It could be from your childhood, it can be from college, it can be from family. And it could be
I probably have a lot of stories I could share. I mean, the thing that came to mind first was, so for a little while, my husband and I got to go to Hong Kong to work. We got to go open up Hong Kong Disneyland, which is a separate company from Disney World. Disney World is where I worked, who I worked for first.
Okay.
And so they decided to hire us. I played Nala in Lion King, and he actually played Tarzan in
Okay, all right.
Tarzan. So they said, hey, we have a contract for the both of you to go out to Hong Kong for 9 months and open up this park. And I thought, what an adventure. We love adventures. P.S. It's one of our favorite things, going on adventures. So we said, cool, let's go. And so, of course, we're in China. So I'm like, we're going to see everything. Like, I'm going to cram as much adventure in this trip as I can. So we head out to this temple. And I can't remember exactly. There's so many temples. That was the running joke. My husband was like, how you keep taking videos of these temples and pictures of these temples, you're not even gonna know what's what. And he was so right, because I don't even know what temple we were in. But when you go into these temples, you have to take off your shoes.
Right.
Well, what I did not connect two and two together is that they don't wear socks, but I had on socks. So I took off my sneakers, but I had the socks. So I'm walking into this temple, and there's this plexiglass box, and there's this monk sitting inside the box. And he is, you can't quite tell if he is real or if this is some sort of statue, or he was just so stoic, right? So I guess I was walking faster than I thought, or I just was so focused on getting and seeing and getting close to him that I forgot, dude, you have on socks and you're on a marble floor. Put two and two together. Total cartoon feet fell, boom, in this place that people are worshiping.
It's all quiet and peaceful.
Are you kidding me?
You fall down, your socks fly in the air. Your husband is like, I told you not to take your shoes off.
Here's the thing.
Socks on.
This tells you everything you need to know about me.
Okay.
And I go, oh my God, I fell. Oh, how embarrassing. No. I was like, did he move?
You wanted to see if wait a minute, it's almost like you wanted to see if he was going to move.
That was my first question. I'm like, did he move? I'm like, are you serious?
You fell and he stayed right there.
He didn't move.
All you heard was and you was just standing right there.
I had some intense concentration, focus, being able to just connect and be in that zone. I admired that.
That's beautiful. Yes.
That level of focus to where nothing outside interrupts what's going on inside. I'm like, there's a life lesson in that, right? So, I was in awe. I was like, wow, He didn't even move. I'm over here like on my deathbed.
Nobody moved. Only person moved was you and your husband. Everybody else was just peaceful.
Such focus, you know.
They did not even know you fell.
Nope. No one cares.
He came out of his trance. He had a sock in his lap.
I thought he had done something like
is this?
Like a piece to the side. No, nothing.
Nothing.
He was not concerned about me. He's like, well, she's still moving and talking, so she's not dead.
Wow. So it's supposed to be 9 months. You did 9 months there, huh?
We did 9 months there.
Wow.
In Hong Kong. I loved it. I love travel.
Did you learn some of the language?
I mean, a
like
little.
Bathroom, can I have a drink, some food, something like that. Those major things you need to know.
One thing I did do for certain, right? I'm not too keen on Chinese food personally. It's not my thing anyway. So I was like, well, I need to know how to say chicken because I know that. Right? So the story goes,
like, this black women need chicken. No.
Yeah. So the lady that was in charge of us, I was like, that was one of my first questions. I was like, how do you say chicken? She's
That's
like,
funny.
Like, oh, well, have to be careful. And I was like, say what now? And she's like, well, if you say guy, chicken. If you say guy, prostitute. So the intonation.
Oh, that is great.
has to go up for you to say chicken. Because if you go down with the inflection, you are asking for a prostitute.
All in the dialect. They're like, why you want a prostitute? You're like, I want some chicken.
Yeah. So I was like, say it again now, guy.
Great. Right. They brought you a prostitute. Her name was Chicken.
Oh, so that's kind of like,
your husband was like,
I knew how to say good morning. They would say, Josan, you know.
Josan.
Josan, you know.
Josan.
Yeah.
Josan. Oh. Korean, I think they say no is nene. 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 I worked with a Korean guy named Mr. Lee back when I was 18 at a leather store. It's called Leather by Lee's in the hood out in Oakland. Yeah. And it was look, Eastmont Mall is what it was called. It was so bad that Santa Claus never came. He never came. No, he didn't come there. He didn't come to Eastmont Mall. He drive by, maybe throw a gift out, but he was not going to stop.
That's probably where they needed it the most.
They did. But Leather by Lee's, and I always hear him fighting and talking to other guys on the phone. He go, Nene, Nene, Nene. That's all you heard. And I was like, oh, I know he's mad about something. And I just knew Nene because he always shake his head no when he said Nene.
Have you?
So I know that's all I know.
As you speaking about a Korean store owner, Kim's Convenience.
Kim's Convenience? No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, you must. It's about a family that owns a convenience store, and it is brilliant. It is so well done. The writing is so good, but like you get the sensibility of that Korean culture and that family, and just it was an entire Korean cast, which I thought was amazing in this day and age. I love the fact that they did that. But
which network?
We were watching it on
Netflix or streaming.
Netflix. I think we were catching on it. Okay. It's Canadian. It's a Canadian broadcast.
Oh, that's better. It's Canadian.
Yeah, but they didn't renew the show because I guess the show creator decided to go, no longer wanted to write the show.
That sucks.
Heartbreaking because I was like, it's such good content, actually. Lots of life lessons in there, which I love. I think we have a chance to impact the storytelling, and they do just that. But it's so funny because he has this whole bit he does, which you'd appreciate. He talks about his wife. He's always saying, sneak attack. Sneak attack. And then he has this other phrase that he's like, what you talking? What you talking? Like,
like what you say, right? What you talking? Oh, wow.
Oh, good.
I'm going to watch it now. Is it how many seasons did it run?
5. I want to say 5.
Oh, 5? Okay.
It's really a good show.
Okay.
I'm super sad that
Kim's
so was the cast. Like the cast was a little bit devastated because it came out of nowhere and ended abruptly. But man, it's some good writing. Clean. It's like good, clean, comedic,
nice.
family-oriented, culture-driven.
Kim's Convenience. Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, Kim's Convenience, guys.
I'm gonna watch it. Actually, I had a friend of mine who's Chinese. He was on Dr. Ken.
Oh yeah, fun.
And his actor named Dana Lee, good friend of mine. He did my podcast as well.
Oh, I know Dana.
You know Dana? Yes, nice. Yeah, what's that?
From the gym.
From the gym. From the gym. Okay, so I met you there. I meet all my great people at the gym. Now, I met Dana. We were in the same, not yoga, but one of those aerobic classes.
Yeah.
So somebody came to me, you got to meet Dana. He's so nice. And Dana would always be at the front, in front by the teacher, right by the glass.
Yeah.
And I'm always in the back. I didn't want to be up front. I don't like being in the front. I just want to be laid back. I do what I'm supposed to do, but when you're in the back, if you get tired, no one can see it.
Oh, I see how you do.
But I mean, I get it in, sis. I get it in. I don't just lay there. If I need to, I don't want to be in the front. But he's in the front and he does it, and he's been there so long. He's like the grandfather of the gym.
Yeah.
So they don't mess with him, but I see him and I say, Dana, pick your feet up, man. You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. I'm always messing with him. So he always tell me, oh, you don't know what you're doing. And I say, you don't know what you're doing. And we always act like we're going to fight.
Oh, fun.
So Dana and I, we got that kind of relationship, like two brothers, Yeah. And he actually came, he would walk the neighborhood because I don't live far from him, and I would see him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I walked with him, and he was walking his little black dog. He has a little black dog. And I'm like, Dana, your dog is mean. Why is your dog so mean? I think your dog racist. He said, what you talking about? I said, you got a black dog and it's racist. And I'm black. That's wrong. And we started laughing. But his dog is just like that. His dog is one of the little dogs like to bark because they love to bark. And, got the little bravado, But we've had a blast. He's invited me over for Thanksgiving. I was out of town on the road, but he invited me. He's a nice guy. So yeah, on Dr. Ken, that was a great show. Yeah. And it only ran for a couple of seasons, but it was amazing, funny, very funny, because the star Ken Jeong is a comedian.
Yeah.
And they have a really great. They had a great cast on that show. But yeah, it's amazing. That's amazing. Now you have something called Marital Mondays.
Yes,
I pays attention, sis. I pays attention. I be listening. Look, I'm by myself and I be listening to Marital Mondays. I'm by myself talking about, that's a good thing to have when you're in a relationship and you're married.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at myself in the mirror and I'm saying, this is still beautiful to learn from my sis getting it in. So please explain to the viewers about your marital money, because I think it's amazing that you do that for people.
We found ourselves whenever we would have like dinners with friends or gatherings or events or going out or whatever, people would, I don't want to say corner us, but kind of, and ask these questions about
right,
how we operate the way we do in our marriage. How do we have so much fun? How is it so joyful? Why do we feel like a new couple, or newlyweds? And I had to do some thinking on that because, sometimes you don't realize what it is that makes it work so
right.
well.
Right.
And the more I got the questions, right, the more I had time to think about it and bring to, a complete idea of why is that? How are we able to function and operate the way that we do with so much joy? And I realized it's actually all very, very intentional. And it's relational. It's not just exclusive to marriage. It's really just about how do you create great relationships.
Right.
And it's about the communication and working on how you communicate with one another and understanding that true love, like love, being in love and loving someone, those are two different.
Totally different, right?
Love
so
is unconditional.
So true.
There are no parameters to love. I love you. You're my brother. Like that's It's a different kind of love than the love I have for my husband. Right. It's loving another human for exactly who they are and giving grace and being able to understand what's a preference and what's a necessity, right? It's just getting clear on, do I prefer him to take out the trash? I do. Is that a requirement or a necessity? It's not. So then that becomes a small stuff when you're looking at it through that lens.
Right.
I'm not gonna fight with him about the trash because I could certainly take out the trash. I'm an able-bodied person. There's no rule that says that's his duty to do. So it's kind of like having that open dialogue of conversation through good communication and keeping it safe. There's this really, really good book called Crucial Conversations. And there was a lot of nuggets in that book, as well as we got something when we first, right before we got married. And it just asked all of these questions that most couples don't even dig into until they're 10 years down the road. And it's already caused friction. So it's asking these crucial questions before it's a heated thing. It's literally just a comment. So what would you do if, or how do you feel about kids? Or what about your family and holidays? Or, things around the house. Money. Oh my gosh, money. What are we going to do with the money situation? All of those things have to be a discussion. And I think most often people don't have the discussion, and then something happens, and because there hasn't been anything set forth or intentionally set ahead of time, then it becomes like, well, he should know.
Right. That's true.
She told him, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there was a big learning curve, but funny enough, this lady we have a gym here now where we live, and she asked me yesterday, I see you and your husband. We've been married 23 years, right? We just had our anniversary a couple weeks ago. And she's like, what's the secret? And I was like, there is no secret. It's trust, communication. And I said, laughter, joy. Like, we laugh at stuff we have no business laughing at, because you can't find the humor. Some things are so devastating that if you don't find a way to find the humor or find the benefit, it'll crush you. It will literally crush you in the mental capacity, and then you're unable to do anything, right? So it's just kind of like deciding for us as a couple what's important. We have goals together. We have goals separate. Funny enough, we have goals in every area. We have goals for our faith. We have goals for our family. We have goals for our fun. We have goals for finances, goals for fitness. And we have it, like, we used to have it put up on the fridge, but it's not currently there. But we just know where we're headed in all of those areas, because thank goodness he's a person that's also focused on growth like I am. I firmly believe we're here to evolve. We're not meant to just be born, die, and so be it. I think we all have a purpose. Like, you have an innate purpose within you. I have something, he has something. And oftentimes, you could be the key to my giftedness. But unless we share, exchange energy, create communication, it may never be unlocked, right? So just finding a good space that you can coexist together. And I love this gentleman. His name's Satguru, and he asked this brilliant question, and it has played in my mind ever since. He was like, "Is your life an expression of your joy?" And I was like, "Huh."
It's nice.
If you just wrote that out, like every day you woke up and you were like, my life is going to be an expression of joy today. And I'm going to invite Dean in on it. And I'm going to invite my husband in on it. And I'm going to invite the cleaning lady down the hallway because she's so amazing. And I'm going to invite the lady that I talked to on the treadmill yesterday. And I'm just going to invite them into my experience of joy. Dude, what an amazing world we're cultivating if we just had that one sentiment in the back of our mind. So I think we operate like that. So we're a very good fit for one another. We have fun, man. Life is too short.
So my next question, you already answered it, which is, how do you stay upbeat? And that's pretty much you explaining about Marital Mondays is basically how you do it with joy and reading certain books and learning and being open.
I'm devouring ways in which to be better every day, all day, every day, from people that are qualified, not just anybody.
Right.
I'm only going to mirror or follow a person that is actively doing the thing I'm aspiring to do. You got to be you got to qualify the source.
Right.
One thing we picked up from, there was a class that he was taking, and I was like, well, you can't go to a class and learn something, and I don't learn it too. So I hopped into the class with him, because I was like, I want to go with you, right?
Right.
Something that they brought up in that class was this thing called Happy and Gratefuls. It sounds super basic. It sounds rudimentary, but every morning and every night we wake up, I say between 5 and 10 things I'm happy and grateful for. Before I put my head on the pillow, I'm saying 5 and 10 things I'm grateful for. Oftentimes, the fact that he makes me coffee every morning to wake up to is on that list, because I love me my 1 cup of coffee. But what that does, there's science behind it too, right? You are deciding energetically how you are choosing to start your day every day, in what kind of state. I want to be in a state of gratitude, right? So in order to do that, I have to think of things that I am grateful for. It literally sets the tone for your the lens in which you see your day. So there's not a lot of things that are going to come along and sideswipe me and take me down to the spiraling down or what have you. I mean, it does. I'm human. We're all human. We have tough days. Don't get me wrong. And that's natural and normal, but I'm not dwelling there. I'm not trying to stay there, because if you stay there so long, it just takes so much more effort and energy to get yourself back up to a higher. I like to vibrate high. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I like to vibrate high and invite people in on that environment. I'm not trying to bring anybody down, or I think we can all rise together. That's my thought process. So if I keep my energy up, then guess what? Like I said before, you can experience that joy with me, and then you might pass that joy on to the next person on your next podcast. And it's just like this spiraling ripple effect that we can create in the world, and actually create a space where we want to live. You know what I mean? It's just a better. And gratefuls are something that we do together as a couple. And it just, for me, when I'm thinking about all the things I appreciate about him, it's very difficult to start fixating on, but he didn't do this and he didn't do that. Because I've already trained my brain to look at what he has done, what he is, what I'm so grateful for. So then the other stuff just becomes like little itty bitty stuff that I'm like, oh, I wish he would have taken out the trash last night.
Yeah, right.
You know, I say the trash because all I can think. I'm looking at the trash can. So.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the time I saw her on the treadmill reading, I told her, I said, you're going to book this. And guess what? The next day she came back and said, I booked it. So it was, you know, that's the vibration. I love you too, sis. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask you one last question. And this is a good one because I know you're very smart, intellectual, funny, sweet, amazing. All the good, every word, every adjective that describes my sister. And this is for listeners too. What is your favorite book?
Oh, that's easy. Easy. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Repeat it, please. Think
and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Man.
Yeah.
I knew you was my sister, because my father used to talk about that book when I was coming up.
He
would always talk about that book.
Aside from the Bible.
And there's another book too.
Huh?
And there's another book also he used to talk about. It's called How to Eat to Live.
Oh, that's good.
And that's a really good book as well. Those two books will guide you and down a wonderful path. Your vibration is very high. Your spirit, your smile, your joy, everything you put out there in the world is very, very high and it's magnetic. That's what drew you to me is your energy, because you meet a lot of actresses and actors in this town and people in this town, because we're in LA, famous and not famous. It doesn't really matter. But certain people have certain energies that you gravitate towards, and you have that. And thank you for supporting me. Thank you for coming to my shows and heckling me, sitting up front and telling me I suck, and telling me I'm gonna get Baby Hawk on you. I'm gonna get Baby Hawk on you if you don't do this joke. I told you. If you don't do this joke, I told you about. I even look, ladies and gentlemen. I even did a joke because I knew she was coming. I did a joke because I knew you were coming, and I did it for you because you're very inspirational. And during the pandemic, we all need it. And like you said, if you allow yourself to stay down there, you'll never rise up. Yeah. And we're in a situation every day, or a struggle to make sure we stay sane and stay happy and give joy and give love. And it's very important. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please tell Baby Hawk I said what's up. I will. And I want to thank my guest, my sister, NICOLA LAMBO, for coming to this MuddaCluckin podcast and sharing her time and her energy with us. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Namaste. I don't know. Look, sis. I never really knew what it means, but it just sounds so smooth. That's why.
Yeah, see, we in the same, same mindset.
Thank you so much for coming. I love you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and keep that energy flowing.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.